Hi, good morning. This is Pradeep Sarawat presenting my demo video on my work on prediction of profit of startups. Before starting, I am going to share steps I have taken to get the result of prediction. So let's get started with my presentations. First slide that says about requirement for prediction of profit. First of all, we should know history of input and outcomes. That means raw data. Firstly, we collect raw data and then we clean by arranging the data, categorizing and removing unnecessary data. After that, the next step comes is representing the data in tabular form in form of attributes and rows so that we can see the data step by step. But their problems comes when the attributes are more than two and rows are more. So we need to data visualize using graphs, and after visualization we get to know our data. So after that, performing exploratory data analysis, that in that we know standard deviation, variance, mean and all other mathematical terms. After that, training and testing of the sorted data should be done. After training and testing, we got our estimated values. Then we compare our estimated values by actual values and applying regression model and getting our prediction result. So these are the steps we need to do for our prediction of profit. Then going further, we have our data set, the data that is collected and arranged in tabular form. We have data of 50 startups and knows that amount they spend specifically on their research and development, administration and marketing. Also, we know how much profit they made, so all of this is in our data set. But while looking at the data set, there are many different figures, numbers, so it's hard to directly see and predict the result of our new startup. So the next slide comes our data set in form of graphs. In this we can see I have mentioned the name of the companies as series 1, series 2, series 3, series 4 and so on up to series 50, and categorically defined we have R&D spend here, administration here and marketing spend here, and also we have profits of the data on this graph. So we can see more things like if I select my cursor on series 1, I have data of series 1, the startup series 1, series 2, series 3, series 4. So we can do it like this also. Now, so going forward to our next slide. So I am going to discuss the tools we use to analyze our data. First of all, we collect data and analyze and categorize the data in our SQL databases or say Excel sheets. Then we need to manipulate the data in form of we need it. So we use IPython where we use some libraries to manipulate the data. There are libraries on IPython to perform various tasks to process machine learning algorithms that makes our task very easy. And we use Tableau and other more visualization softwares to visualize our data more specifically. Further going, we can discuss how we work on our data sets. Here I have mentioned that which libraries I have used. like NumPy, C1, Pandas, Matplotlib, sklearn, math stats model. So I will be discussing this with my code, that how these libraries work and what are needed to work with means syntax of the code. And in ipython I have to import my data. So to manipulate the data means to change the rows, columns, attributes also. So here I have given URL to the data set from which I have to fetch the data. Here I have named it as df. You can mean specify data frame, and we do it with pandas.read csv file, as it is a csv file, and encoding is used so that there is no problem in fetching data. Sometimes some warnings and error may occur in fetching data online, and df.head is used so that my 5 values of the data set can be shown in output, so that I may verify the data that I have fetched the exact same data I needed. Going further, I will discuss about exploratory data analysis, what it means. I think I have previously told about that we do mathematical analysis in exploratory data analysis. Here, this is a correlation heat map, that how attributes are related to one another. Here our RD research and development is proportional. How much proportional ratio is given, that 0.97 to 1, and 0.72 of marketing strategy to research and development. So this is all our relation between attributes, like relation research and development, sorry, is research and development, advertisement or marketing, and administration. So now, what is outliers? Outliers are the components in our data set that are not favorable like other data in our data set. So we have to remove that thing from our, because prediction needs a continuous method, or we can say continuous variation of data is used for prediction. So the data that is different from other, that is considered as outlier, and we handle outlier. So here I will use box plot. It is a part of visualization in C1 library. So here we have outliers shown here with lines. So but our data set is very small, so we need not to means handle outliers in this condition. So we can ignore the outliers and move further. Then there comes train and test. From our data set, we need to train our model and test it, where it is giving values approximately to equal to actual values. So we run train and test from our x and y axis, that we can say about attributes and rows. So after that, we apply regression models that see our data set and give us our prediction values after telling the investment values. So this is the way I have done my project, and I am showing you the code I have used. So here is my Jupyter notebook, which I have used for coding for predicting profit using multilinear regression model. So I have discussed our dataset, that we have 50 startups information of their research and development expenditure, their management expenditure, and their marketing expenditure, the amount of profit they earn, and the aim to estimate is amount of profit. This is a numerical estimation problem. Our dependent variable is profit. So our independent variables was R&D spend, administration, marketing spend, and other things. So I have imported these libraries: NumPy, Cmod, Pandas, Matplotlib, PyPlot, SPLT, sklearn, Maths test model. So for so I have already told you about importing the dataset in my Jupyter notebook. Here I have used rename function to rename my R&D spend as RD, administration as AD, marketing spend as MS, so that will be easy to code because a small uh, abbreviation is used. So I am executing these. So this is my data set I have used. So now you can see R&D spend is represented as RD, administration as AD, and marketing spend as MS, and profit is profit. Going further, I have calculated investment by in another data frame name as investment. I have sum of investment as total investment, so that I can know how much the startups has invested and what was the profit they made. Now we can see mean of total investment, that how around means how much we should have to invest to predict our new data. df.info gives us about there is no null values in dataset, so it will be easy for us to predict. df.shape function gives us number of rows and columns we have, so there are 50 rows and 4 columns. df is dot sum function gives us there are number of zero null values for all of the attributes we have. df correlation gives us correlation. For that we have also discussed previously about heat map. So this was the heat map I have shown you earlier. Scatter plot is a seaborn library function that used to scatter our data in on the graph. df.hist sorry df.hist is the code for representing data in form of histogram. So this is the code. Now moving further, discussed about outliers earlier. So this was the outlier handling thing. So I have made x and y variables, means x is the data frame that has all attributes except profit, and y is the data frame which has profit. So for training I have used x train, x test, y test, train test split, test size 0.20, random set 42, shuffle. Now x train has our data like this: x test 0 to 10, we have this. Y train and y test, we have data like this. So I have let's include linear regression in the kernel and build the model. So I have written linear regression and model. We have used as x train, y train, and y prediction as x test. So this is the data frame which tells us about our actual values and estimates we got. Finally, we comes to our error part, that how much error we are getting in prediction values. So here we used mean absolute error, mean squared error, mat dot square root of MSC or MSC we can say. So these were the errors we will getting. So we can also check model score, that how means how approximately our values are coming. So I have used this data for prediction of my model for finding the profit of a startup that invested in following ratio. His research and development is 165,444, administration 90,000, and marketing 3 lakhs. Then I have come to predictions of profit in startup is around 1.9 lakhs, and our range of profit lies between 181,315 to 199,307. So that's all about my demo video. Thank you.